Hello children, this is Mrs. Okabwe, your English language grammar teacher. Today we will study verbs. I know that during this lockdown, a lot of you have played, you've done a lot of things. Some of you learned how to cook, some of you played games, some of you fought, cried, quarreled, and did a whole lot of things. And all those things you have exercised at home are simply verbs. Before we start the lesson, let's look at our learning objectives. Learning objectives. Upon the conclusion of this lesson, I should be able to explain verbs, illustrate types of verbs, use them in expressions. Verbs are words that shows actions and state of being. Verbs are words that shows actions and state of being. They describe what a subject is doing in a sentence. Types of verbs. Verbs are actions. Yes, we have various types of verbs, but for the purpose of this lesson, we'll be learning just two types of it. The first one is action verbs. These are verbs that show actions we can see and feel. These are verbs, action verbs are verbs that show actions we can see and feel. Then we have a second one, the static verbs. Static verbs are verbs we cannot see, but we can feel. They express a state of being rather than actions. Examples. Now, static verbs and action verbs. Let's look at some of the examples. The first one is action verbs. From the diagram, we could notice some verbs, and I'm sure you're familiar with these verbs. We have work, run, ride, sit down, stand up, fight, laugh, read, play, listen, cry, think, sing, watch TV, dance, turn on, turn off, win, write, open, close, sleep, throw away, cut, fly, give, jump, eat, drink, cook, wash, talk, push, pull, climb, and wait. These are verbs we are all familiar with. Yes, we do most of those things at home and elsewhere. So let's look at the examples of static verbs. Static verbs, they are verbs of the mind. Verbs of the mind. They are verbs you do not see, but you feel. Now, let's look at some examples of static verbs. We have the see, the hear, smell, taste. These are verbs of the sensory organs. Now, we also have some other ones. We have mental verbs. These include know, understand, remember, forget, think, hope. Now we have verbs of the emotion. These are where we have love, hate, like, dislike, envy, feel, care, miss. Then we have other verbs, other static verbs, such as believe, realize, mean, suppose, recognize, mind, and want, prefer, desire, have, need, own, belong, possess, weigh, cost, measure, equal, and resemble. Now, those static verbs are verbs we feel, but we do not exercise. any physical activity on them, but it's within us. So I just need you to understand that all these are also verbs, regardless of whether it is exercised physically or not. For the singular fact that it exists in your mind, in your mental capacity and the rest of it, in your mental faculty and the rest of it, then it is a verb. So let's look at some examples. So the next time you smell that food, just know that it's a verb, or you taste that food. Sentences. In these sentences, we shall be looking at action verbs. She threw the trash outside. She threw the trash outside. Now, the verbs are the words written in italics and underlined for emphasis. Now, she threw the trash outside. You can see the words written in italics and underlined. Now, threw is underlined. Now, threw is a verb. Let's look at the next sentence. Hawk fought the man. Hawk fought the man. Fought is a verb. These are actions that we exercise physically. Yes, if Hawk fights, you and I see that Hawk fights. Now the second sentence is Leila writes the notes. Leila writes the notes. The fourth sentence or the fifth one is the boy stole the tickets. The boy stole the tickets. The next sentence is I baked a queen's cake. The last one is Ebuka draws well. Ebuka draws well. Now all the words underlined and written in italics are verbs. Sentences. Stative verbs. Static verbs, like I mentioned earlier, are verbs you don't exert any physical action or exercise. Is a state of being. And as I earlier said, static verbs are verbs that we don't see, but we feel. In other words, they emphasize or explain a state of being. They are words used to describe states of being. Now, he is my friend. You don't see is, but inside you, you know that this person is a friend. The next sentence, mommy loves her children. This has to do with emotion. If you go back to the slide and see the examples on stative verb, you will see emotions. And one of the examples in emotions is love. Mommy loves her children. I desire a big bear for my birthday. I desire a big bear for my birthday. Now, look at it very well. Desire is not something you exercise physically. It's something of the mind. It's something that comes in from the inside. Now, I want to tell you today that these are verbs. The next example, Musa hears the teacher. The issue of hearing or the idea of hearing is something that is personal to one. If I speak to you, your ability to hear me or not depends on you. I don't see it, I don't know, but it depends on you in the sense that you will be the one to say, I heard you or I cannot hear you. So, here is a verb. I am happy. Now, this brings us to the verb to be. I am happy. I am happy. I is a personal pronoun. Am is a verb. Now, children, I really need you to stop saying I'm happy. I'm happy is not a correct grammar. You don't say I'm happy. You only say I am happy, because when you say I am happy, it is correct and you are using the right words. So am happy, you can't be a verb, but you can only be represented as a noun or a pronoun. So you stop saying I'm happy. So you need to say I am happy. So am is a state of being and it's under other verbs such as are, were, is, was, just like I said earlier, is, I mentioned is. So am is a state of being and am is a static verb. Now we look at the last sentence here. She wants my snack. She wants my snack. It also has to do with something that is personal to you. Wants. She wants my snack. It's not an action that is shown physically, but it's from the inside. You can only feel it. So, want is a static verb. Now, I know you really enjoyed this lesson and I would like you to go over and over the slides, listen to it, and try to demonstrate some verbs at home, demonstrate some things. Now, I also want you to try out some little exercise on your own. Now, the exercise I would love you to try out is insert any 5 correct action or static verbs under the headings below. Under the heading below. The first heading is school. Here what I want you to do is to simply tell me the types of verbs you exercise in the school either as a static verb or an action verb. So you tell me the type of verbs you exercise in school, either as a static verb or action verb. Then at home, what type of verbs do you demonstrate at home? Do you demonstrate static verbs or active verbs? Now, if you don't understand what I'm trying to say here, I simply want you to provide me examples of both static and action verbs you demonstrate at home. Then afterward, you make sentences with them to show expression. Now, I would love you to submit on Wednesday and on the number below. Happy listening and have a lovely time at home.